So far, we've got about 3 things per weapon column. I think it's probably a good idea to get 3 great axes. Generally speaking, we should have 3 on each. So, figure out what we need for another great axe. Oh, if you hear a sound like the whole world is coming apart, being destroyed, that's just me eating a Triscuit.
Let's see what we can do.
I can already see with guillotine that we might need to change this
Mm-hmm.
to something like you deal half damage to you deal half of your damage to max HP whenever you deal damage with this weapon. Instead of making a choice, because every time, and that's not even considering balance, but just in general, because every time you have to attack, choosing whether you want to do damage to max HP or HP, it's not really a choice most times.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna go look up great axes. Our video is fine now, right?
Yeah. It's not duty anymore.
That's all we can ask for in this life, is that our video quality not be duty. You know, mobile Twitch app, I'm really not appreciating you not acting as my second screen right now. Ask for one very specific thing, you say no.
Well, I just tried to scroll down on the stream video window. That's smart of me.
I've done something akin to that. But never anything quite that dumb, you know?
Wow. Thanks.
All right.
Maybe something like, because on the images you see in the second row near the middle
Uh-huh.
by the glass battle axe from
Right.
the pointy one, looks like a pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea. Great axe actually does kind of like piercing damage.
So a nice pickaxe sort of deal.
Yeah. It's just a humongous like battle pickaxe. And since it's so heavy, maybe it has a easier time penetrating heavy armor.
Yeah. Hmm. Always with the syntax.
Syntax error.
Instead of someone wearing, for those viewing, heavy armor, you have to make sure that you say it in the same way each time, which is why I changed it to an enemy equipped with heavy armor. Whenever you would deal damage to an enemy equipped with heavy armor. Otherwise, you have like some conventions, some places, one convention, another place, and it reads a lot less uh, concisely for anyone who comes back and is trying to implement your work, or even if you're trying to implement your work. Damage to an enemy equipped with heavy armor combo. I was thinking about adding attack to the weapon or stuff like that, but that's all stat based, and we want this to be. I mean, if we're gonna put a place where stat based things buffs would come in, it would be on items, but I think there are better ways. You deal direct equal to the number of times you have successfully damaged them. This successfully dealt damage to them this battle. Okay, I think that works. Like wearing a hole in their armor. Easier for you to get through each time you hit them.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Pickaxe thesaurus. So if we don't want to name it just pickaxe, then what we usually do is we go and we look it up in a thesaurus. What sort of other words there are for pickaxe? Pickmatic. Hack.
Kind of like the word beak.
Beak. Yeah, I like that too. Huh. Alright.
What about the grand beak?
No, I like the word beak. I really like that. Because it gives a really good sort of image for what the weapon would look like too.
You could even have it like be like a monster drop, and it's made out of the monster's like gigantic beak.
Mm-hmm. That would be good too.
Like maybe the kangaroo has a huge ass beak for a face.
And this drops from it.
Yeah.
Hmm. thesaurus just to make sure.
Yeah, there's nothing too great coming off a beak.
Yeah, no, there's not. You sure you don't want to call it the pecker?
Please. The heavy pecker.
Heavy pecker. Problem with beak is, on its own, it's sort of a funny word. So you need something with like a very sort of grand but negative connotation to it. Looking for malignant first. Could always put dire in front. Dire beak. Could also go with like a blank's beak. Whatever creature dropped it, or like rook's beak would be fine.
Right.
I'll just put that for now. Wham! Just slam through heavy armor. Seems more like a rare than like a rare +1 or something like that. Okay, so that's one for all those except for maces. So we need a new mace now. Mace, handedness 1H, range 1, rarity. I've never figured out what the crosshair would do. Guess that's rare.
What was that was the fire one, right?
It's the summons one. Whenever you would deal damage, deal an additional direct damage for each summon you control.
Oh, right.
I should put a disclaimer out there. Not all of these are going to look this way in their final implementations. We're going to have to go through, figure out how they feel in combat, what can be done to make them feel more fun, more engaging. And if that means that some of them don't do as much damage as initially advertised, then that's fine. Control C, Control V. Alright, so I don't know what I want this to do. Let's go look at pictures of maces. Maces. Images. Some pretty cool ones here, I guess. For our viewers watching, the whole idea behind the mace was just that once heavy armor came around, it was really difficult to slash through something. Most of the time you had to stab them, and in close quarters it's kind of difficult to get up under and stab at the weak spot in someone's armor. Whereas if you whack them on the side of the head, or against their plate with something blunt like a mace, you can crunch in the armor and make it very difficult for them to move. If the plates start frictioning together because of damage that you dealt, it can really impinge upon their movement. Their small kind of even arm movement can be very very necessary for if you have a shield. Not to mention the blunt force trauma of having your head smacked incredibly hard. Even if you have a helmet on, with a sword it can be glancing. With a mace, because of how the surface impacts, it can kill you with your own helmet, or make it very difficult to take off later. Imagine having a piece of metal poking into the side of your head the whole time you're fighting is pretty good recipe for unhappiness.
Tch, maybe this one's like a little maw, like a little hammer.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Should we even include hammers? And I was like, well, between maces and great axes, there's no reason to.
No,
Make
that should be a mace. If it's going to be a hammer, it should be classified as that.
Yeah, maybe it should be mace axe hybrid, just because of the shapes.
Oh yeah, the way weight is distributed.
Axe. But it doesn't really slash, which is what axes are about. So maybe we'll just keep it within maces. Maces are doing the crushing damage anyway. So it's a hammer.
Yeah.
What do you think it should do?
Yeah.
um, you deal damage with this weapon. Comma. You may choose basic or active. The recipient of that damage may not use abilities of the chosen type until the beginning of your next turn.
Holy crap.
Rare plus
11.
2. So it's a hammer, but it like crunches in whatever they're wearing.
So we call it hammer time.
Hammer time, exactly. Um, crush thesaurus. Compress, smash, beat, break, crumble, mash, bray, buck, comminute. You've heard that word before. Kablooey. Pound, affection, annihilate, vitiate, raise, quell. Could have quill and quell as weapons. But I think we want to save quell for something else, somewhere else.
Hmm.
An ability, probably. Implode. Some more of the image I'd like to get across. Fold. Lay increases. Furrow. Hem. Seed. Bind. Buckle.
I like the word fracture too.
Fracture. Alright, let's see what fracture holds for us.
Fissure.
Fissure. Rent. Rift. Splinter. Severance. Breach. Break. Annihilate, crush, disintegrate, divide, fragment, rupture, schism, break open, burst, disrupt, erupt, fracture, tear, cleave, crack. Gotta find something that sounds like a name. That's the issue.
Right.
Most of the challenge when doing this, guys, is getting to a place where you have both a cool word and a name for the weapon, like something the people within your universe would actually call it. Sting is a good example from Lord of the Rings of a weapon that both sort of describes what it does and has a name. Although it doesn't, its primary use is not stinging, it's alerting you to the fact that you're about to get ambushed by orcs. At least for Bilbo. For others, it could be a hunter of orcs. Depends on how the character would use it, which is, I guess, part of how wonderfully designed it is. Crack, barrage, rush, salvo, torrent, surge, spurt. This feels like the first real rare +2.
Yeah.
I could call it Thumper.
Thumper.
It's a cute enough name, right?
You'll get it and be like, what? What is this even? Oh.
Right, exactly. Does that work? Because
Yeah.
you can imagine someone saying it in like a cute little British accent. Thumpa.
Makes me think of Bambi too.
It does. It's just this innocuous little thing, and then it looks terrifying. It just whams you. The fact that it's one-handed is yet another ridiculous bit of its power. Okay. Huh. So I wonder what kind of class would have that. Where you would find it. Probably find it in human territory. Given its name. I'll just put it human.
Ah, sounds like something the dwarves would make.
Ah, dwarf.
It's just some technologically advanced hammer.
Bam! Yeah. Okay. Dwarven. Cool. Coolio.
Oh, me.
Says 3 for each, except for conduits, of which we have an idea. Thesaurus. Also, I think I need to go through and color code all of these for easier reading.
Yeah, that'd probably help.
If you want to start thinking of some conduit ideas. or some ideas for any of the others, feel free. Did I do that before? No, I didn't. I gotta tell you, starting the day off with Gatorade and Triscuits is something I'll probably try and avoid from now on. And plan out my sleep schedule a little bit better so I can arise and grab eggs or something like that. Anything but Gatorade and Triscuits, really.
Yeah.
When you're young, I think that sounds like just the sort of meal you'd like to have.
It is. Don't trick people.
It's like, I'm just gonna have Pop-Tarts and, a Propel or something. With some pretzel sticks.
Yeah.
But I'd be pretty unhappy with that now. But like, where's my soup with persimmon fizz? No one's gonna make that for me today. Damn. Not to mention sushi, that delicious
Oh, sushi's so good.
food of the gods, which you never seem to be able to make for yourself.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard.
I suppose it's not, but at
It's
the same
getting the right ingredients that's hard.
right, yeah. It's like I don't want to go to a fish market. You ever smell the fish market?
I'm not gonna make the joke I want to make.
No, yeah. Well, I appreciate that. You're always looking out for the viewers. How's Throbot? Is he enabled?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Flails. Wow, it's taking a while to highlight these. Just, by the way, viewers, the reason I'm doing this is when you're going through a lot of these and you're inputting them, it's nice to have a visual indicator of where things stop, how much information is part of one thing, how much is part of another, without having to look over and guess at which row you're in, especially during anytime when you're looking through an Excel document. Generally, you want to have something like this. It helps in Word documents too, though. I do this for just about anything that I'm entering skills into. Alright, so let's take this cell, Control-C, delete, move it here, and go grab the header from this one. Control-V. And then we take affixes and stretch that way out. Doing that because it is the one that takes the most room. Alright, so we've got a conduit. We've named it Thesaurus. Type weapon. Subtype conduit. And conduits, for those watching, are basically it's like you're wielding a staff, but instead of doing the art for a staff, you just have particle effects around the hand of whoever has it. It should save time.
And look pretty neat.
And look pretty neat. That's another part of it, yeah. 1H. Range. 1 to 3. Another part of conduits is they have bow range. Right, we can't do that. Well, we could do 2 to 3 so that they don't have. So that they actually have bow range. You can't hit what's immediately in front of you with it. Nah, we'll do 1 to 3. We'll leave bow range for bows. Rarity. These are going to start off rare.
I just noticed we don't have a tab for bows.
We don't. We don't have a tab for bows. We don't have a tab for crossbows. We don't have a tab for staves. And we don't have our armor tabs yet. I was thinking we probably wouldn't get to designing those so quickly.
Yeah.
But we have. So now it's time to introduce them. So I suppose we have staves before conduits. Staves. I before E except after
Conduits.
conduits. Exactly. Bows. Crossbows. Alright, let's go through and recolor too. Change color. Make all the melee weapons this nice, rich blood red, rust blood red sort of color. What do you think for shields? What color would they be? Just steel gray.
Maybe brown.
Brown it is. Staves should be blue, I think, along with conduits. Then bows and crossbows can be green. Because who else is using those but elves? No one. Alright, that helps a little bit. At least for me. I think I should have this control seat still. Do. Bows. Crossbows. Nice. Alright, let's look at conduits real fast. Threshold 1 through 5. Make sure that that's in place. Try chat fixes out. Row or so. Staves, conduits. Maybe we should name them things like ketchup and mustard. That way people think that we don't know what conduits are, and that we think they're condiments.
Oh my god, they're condiments. That's hilarious.
I don't know. Could be funny.
Kind of like the idea for this thesaurus one. Like, it's like pieces of paper just rolling around the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And when you attack it, like, shoots out paper.
That'd be cool. So what does that do?
Look cool.
Yes. Maybe that's all these do. Just keep them.
No effects, they just look cool.
They're just cool. Really cool. The opponent's like, oh god, what is that? Paper! Alright, I gotta blow my nose. This whole waking up thing is rough. Pardon me, stream.
That's nasty.
I know. I'm sorry.
Why would you do that on stream?
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, stream. Don't hurt me.
Rude dude.
Whenever an enemy would become the target of an ability that you control, comma, you may the typing of one resistance on any piece of armor equipped to them until the end of battle. It's rare +1 or rare +2.
Yeah.
It's like, oh hey, slashing resistance is now crushing. Go to work, guys. Alright, so that's one conduit. Got staves to attend to. Got bows to attend to, and crossbows to attend to.
We should at least get one of each.
Yeah.
So let's do a bow. No, let's do a stave.
Whichever you want.
Let's do a bow stave.
Oh god. Suppose you could do one.
It's just like a giant U bow.
Yeah. No, U-bow.
No.
I actually have an idea for a bow now.
Perfect. See, when we're just saying random things, it's not just for the sake of saying random things.
Not entirely.
It's to get those gears turning.
And to make this a little bit less boring for you guys.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're funny or anything, so
No,
that's not helping.
we're not.
We just always sound like we don't know what we're doing, which is, you know what, that's okay. I don't know what I'm doing.
We're to appear as though we do, slightly.
I totally know what I'm doing.
If you pretend really well, everyone else will think you do, at least. Alright. So. Can attack at melee range as a blade or as a sword slashing damage. So it's a bow with a blade on it. or like the things of the bow are blades. So now you've got your double blade thing that you were talking about earlier.
That doesn't satisfy me, but okay. That's pretty cool though.
No. Just sort of cool.
Wow.
Alright. Conduit. We got that down. Let me color this. Don't know what the name is yet for this bow. Let's call it Blade Wind.
Oh yeah. What about sheer shot? Actually, that sounds just as dumb now that I hear it in my head. Gotta get rid of all the bad ideas.